Well, what the perfect build-up that is to our fourth and final match on day 4, and what a day we've been treated to here at this Mare in Milan. A reminder, the inaugural edition of the Kings World Cup Nations, Italy 2025, the road to Torino, and the Twitch viewers, Thomas, have it as Morocco, the big favourites, despite their underwhelming first match.
Yeah, and I can't blame them. You look at the talent they have, the likes of Nadir and Fouad, plus the supporters as well. It's home from home. It's as if we're in Marrakesh right now. Is that fair to say, or Casablanca?
Why not?
Why not?
Absolutely.
Why not? And so via Twitch, people think and are confident Morocco will win, but the secret cards could have a big impact as we see the draw of the Spotify secret cards. Ukraine to your left, Morocco to your right. We saw in the previous match the impact they can have as Colombia came from behind to stun Turkey. Let's see whether maybe Ukraine can stun Morocco and cause an upset, because if they don't win, they're going home.
The Ukraine side, then, there is one name that stands up above the rest. Yevhen Konoplyanka wearing 10, a former Europa League winner, lest we forget, a survivor of 2 European Championships as well, 2012 and 2016. They'll look to him wearing the armband, but as you said, Morocco, Thomas, with 2 superstars of their own.
Yeah, who play in the Kings League in Spain. They actually have Spanish nationality, dual nationality, but they've chosen to represent Morocco. And they could well face Spain at some stage in the competition. That would be some match indeed. As the countdown begins, that is our cue to keep on talking, and make sure we pass on the emotions of this match to you as the ball is ready to drop there in our cage, branded by McDonald's, as we get close to tea time and dinner time. Why not? And the lights are about to begin.
They are indeed. We are just moments away from game 4 on day 4 at Bismara. It is go time here in the final match between Ukraine and Morocco, 2 teams that were beaten in their opener. Now that's a foul, Thomas. What does that mean? Well, foul inside the first minute. Well,
I think in this occasion they thought it was going to be a foul, but in reality I think there was just actually an infringement in that initial one. So possession starting with Morocco, who've got their star man Nadir here against Ukraine's star man Konoplyanka.
Yeah, lovely duel this. Nadir wearing 3, Konoplyanka. And I'm sure there'll be a bit of pride there for Konoplyanka, because as far as I'm aware, Nadir is a Kings League specialist, but not necessarily played professionally, but he's got the better here of Konoplyanka, and that's why Nadir Lua is one to watch, and it's he who scores inside the first minute for the Moroccans.
And that is why, Patrick, he is the Corona de Oro, and he is showing the mark of a champion. A real underwhelming performance by his incredibly high standards in the first game when they were beaten by Colombia. But he's looking to hit back. There may be a few question marks, though. There are no question marks. The goal stands.
The goal does indeed stand. He was worried there, Nadir. He's telling his teammate to get on the pitch because the minutes elapsed. Konoplyanka forced wide by Nadir, showing that he's equally adept both defensively and the other way. We just saw his finish. Is the Ukrainian goalkeeper meantime, and it's a deafening wall of noise for the Ukrainians. Nadir, if he can get to the loose ball first, he would have had an empty net, but Konoplyanka showed his reading of the game to snuff out any danger.
Yeah, fortunately for Ukraine, he was there just to pick up the pieces, tidy up the pieces. Now the keeper can come out with gone beyond that first minute, trying to create the overlap here.
Indeed, goalkeeper is Denis Boyko. Boyko tries his luck. It was very close to going in, and in the end Marouane Mizirira is relieved to see the ball go just wide of the post as our third outfield player prepares to enter the fray.
Maybe the Moroccan keeper can be decisive.
Here go Morocco looking for a second. He could have squared it for Nadir. I think it was more of a shot than a cross there. The wag of the finger from the Moroccans. They thought it should have been a corner. It is just a goal kick for Ukraine. But let's bring you up to speed, if you are just joining us, as to what you may have missed.
Where were you? If you haven't been with us, why weren't you with us? I need to know. What better things do you have to do than watch Kings World Cup Nation?
Germany 2, Brazil 9 was the opening match of the day. Peru survived a late scare to see your Korea Republic by 4 goals to 3. And a little earlier on, Turkey led 2-0 against Colombia, but eventually lost 3-2, a golden goal. Here go Ukraine, they need to get a shot away, they're running out of time. But Konoplyanka is denied.
Still got it though, still got it. Lovely skills.
It's not a corner. I think the whistle had already gone because they'd taken too long in trying to get a shot away. That's why the message has now been relayed to Konoplyanka that he won't be able to resume with a corner.
It's a shame though, it was a lovely bit of footwork from Konoplyanka. Had a golden opportunity in their first game against Turkey. Actually hit the post, and who knows, had that gone in. We spoke about, you spoke in particular, Patrick, the fine margins at all levels of football, in particular even the Kings League. Had it gone in, who knows, momentum, a confidence game and all that. In the end though, they were soundly beaten and didn't even get a goal.
Nicely done by Fuad. He wanted to collect the return, they nearly did. He almost got it sliding in. It goes behind. It was a fair challenge. I don't know why Denis Boyko's not accepting the apology there. It was an honest 50-50 between the pair. The Ukrainian goalkeeper really shouldn't moan too much about that. The ball was there to be won, and he nearly did win it. We saw there Nadir wearing 3, linking up with Fuad wearing 80. They are the two stars in the Moroccan side. We've already seen Nadir get on the score sheet.
What a brilliant start for Morocco, giving their supporters plenty to cheer about. Now, Simon, in our last game with Morocco, mentioned how the Moroccan supporters are so passionate, and the Moroccan people in general. Have you ever worked with Moroccan colleagues or in Moroccan football any chance, Patrick?
Not come across too many, I have to say, unfortunately, but yeah. I know big Moroccan populations all over continental Europe. They won the ball high up the pitch here. Nadir waits on the edge of the box, but in front of him came his teammate, and he was knocked off his stride. It was a fair challenge, just about coming in on Issam Iraqi.
Maybe should have left it for Nadir, who was ready to pull the trigger. Ready to fire in, just from the edge of the box, get the shot in from the edge of the box. Love that chant.
Yeah, you'd think we're in Iceland, in Reykjavik. Instead, we're in Milan.
We're in the north.
Feels like Marrakesh. Marrakesh, a big Italian rapper, isn't he? But nowhere near as good as our man Mahmoud.
As I was going to say, you give me a great assist there, Patrick. In terms of Italian artist Mahmoud, who will be performing ahead of the final on the 12th of January in Turin. Tickets still available.
What else we got in store at on the 12th of January?
Also a Legends game as well, Patrick, which will feature the likes of Iker Casillas, Buffon, Agüero, Andrea Pirlo. I love Andrea Pirlo, massive, one of my favourite players growing up, ex-Inter, Regina as well, people forget, Brescia, Milan, Juventus as well.
Kingsleague.pro is where you need to go to get your tickets. Go onto our website. Clever ball here onto this near side, as Ukraine pursue an equaliser. Good defending from Fuad. Fuad can drive it forward. There's a man over on the far side. It's the skipper looking to score. Well blocked, though. Excellent work defensively there from the Ukrainian number 11, Denis Olinyk. But they do have so many attacking threats, Morocco.
Oh, they're a great side to watch. So entertaining. It's why they've been tipped as one of the favourites.
Konoplyanka gets the return. It's his cutback. Good defending again, this time from the Moroccan skipper, which is Embark Boussoufa. Morocco want a second. They might get it. Boyko at full stretch, and he had to extend himself there to keep out the excellent effort from Zakaria Hadraf.
He had to put himself at full stretch indeed there, the Ukrainian keeper, palming it away, stinging his gloves. And it really is all very much Morocco. And sometimes, Patrick, I think that losing your first game, back to you.
Ukraine off target.
No, I was just saying, sometimes losing your first game can do a bit of good. If not mistaken, Argentina lost their first game at the last World Cup. Was it to Saudi Arabia?
To Saudi Arabia.
For example, Italy in the past have
win the competition.
Traditionally been slow starters. So it's not always, if you're going to lose a game, better lose at the very start and then win the rest.
Before the knockout stages. And you can afford to lose in Kings League because there is a last chance. That's a foul there by Boussoufa.
Yeah, he knew it.
And of course, it also, this is the inaugural edition of the World Cup, so even though some of these players have played Kings League at club level, for many, they're new to it, and however much you practice, it doesn't replicate the same atmosphere you get here when the stakes are higher, genuine competitive match. So in some ways, if you lose your first game or your second game, you do get that extra opportunity to play. So by the time you're in a quarter-final, you've actually played three times to your opponents twice.
Great point indeed, Patrick. Also because we've seen some players have not quite fully understood the rules and regulations at time, or not really applied them to the way they should be used, for example, as we saw in the Mexico game yesterday against Saudi Arabia, for example. So that's another factor. Some players, that you mentioned, read the rules, you've got to play the game.
Well, also because it looks a lot like 11-a-side football, but it is very different. So, you know, instincts tend to kick in, and occasionally you might not necessarily have those special Kings League reflexes that you require in terms of not making fouls in the first 60 seconds, in terms of when to play your cards, a secret card, and when to use your presidential penalty. A reminder that both teams have the opportunity from 12 yards if their president is taking the penalty, if he's here on location, in situ, in loco. Otherwise, if they do delegate to one of the players as part of the squad, then it's a shootout, which means running from halfway. Here's Fuad, losing out. Fuad wins it back fairly. Morocco winning all the 50-50s. They got the skipper wanted it on the far side. Instead, it's at the near post where Dennis Boyko does the tidying up. Yeah,
incidentally, both these teams would have a shootout because neither president is here on site here at the venue at Wismar as Ukraine try and go forward here, Patrick. Disappointing end. And on the subject of shootouts, it was actually Fuad for Morocco actually missed his shootout in the last game. That disappointing, underwhelming debut, there's the headline for Morocco. Their first match against Colombia, but they really look like they're bouncing back. They started here with real purpose, and they're 1-0 up. They could have been more had it not been for the Ukrainian keeper.
Yeah, and we saw Nadir score that opening goal, who is the reigning Corona d'Oro, the Golden Crown, which is awarded to the best player in the Kings League movement. It's the Kings League equivalent of the Ballon d'Or, the Golden Ball, quite literally. This is the Corona d'Oro. Of course, a king needs a crown, as all monarchs should. But we're going to see who's going to be crowned the champions of the inaugural Kings World Cup Nations, as Ukraine try and get on the board here. They can't, though. Moroccan defence doing a pretty sturdy job, and the crowd behind them also geeing them up as well, and they are cheering every single passage of play.
That's a lovely ball, and it needed the save from the keeper.
It did. It was almost Zakaria Hadraf. 1v1.
They'll keep up the pressure here, Morocco. Want to get that second goal and just make it even harder for Ukraine. Are still seeking, Patrick, their first goal in this tournament.
But Thomas, you and I can sympathise with the Moroccans here. You know, when you are living outside the country of your birth, as many of these Moroccans are, or maybe there might be first or second generation immigrants, born to immigrants here in Italy, then you do tend to go even deeper on the national pride, because it's very rare that you get to show that national pride day in, day out if you're living in Italy. But here, they are in Italy, they get to see their compatriots playing, and not only do they get to see their compatriots playing, they've got two superstars on the pitch. One is Nadir, the Corona d'Oro, but Fuad is pretty close second.
Absolutely, and he has the potential, in my opinion, to go on and win it one day, the Corona d'Oro, which is voted by players, journalists, coaches as well, and the fans, don't forget. It's a very democratic sport as well. In fact, the fans at the very start playing their part in the invention of the rules and the regulations.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of Kings League, which is why I want to see the creation of the X3 goal rule. I want to see goals counting for 3. This is great, though. We've got the Icelandic clapping, which eventually builds to a crescendo from the Moroccans behind the goal where their goalkeeper is keeping goal. We've also got the streamers getting involved. And we're going to get involved as well. Thomas can't keep time, so he's not doing it.
No, exactly. I'm just going to observe and enjoy it. I like a Mexican wave, though. I love the Mexican wave.
Yep.
Big fan of Mexico in general in this competition, and the Kings League Americas.
Do you like an ole when a team is winning and then they start cheering passes, or do you think that's disrespectful to the opposition?
Well, it's one of the, when you're winning, you can see the great side. When you're losing, it's infuriating. It's very much the salt being rubbed in wounds, obviously. But yeah.
Colopianca! Why not on the volley? And we are seeing how much of the technical burden is on the shoulders of the Ukrainian number 10. They've gone for a different tack compared with Italy, who packed their ranks full of current and former professionals. We saw Mickey Trombetta leading the line. We saw Viviano between the sticks, plus Bonucci and Ciccio Caputo. They had 4, Italy. Ukraine have just got the 1 as far as I'm aware, albeit Denis Boyko is a name familiar to me.
Yes,
so
another one who has experience at this the very elite level, but this is the elite level of
you do feel therefore,
Patrick.
Much like the opponents against Morocco, if they can keep Fouad and Nadir quiet, in the same way, if you can keep Konoplyanka quiet, then maybe you might have some joy, but we're just going to get that particular challenge going in.
Yeah, in the meantime, looks like he's going to be okay. It's on the phone, the Moroccan president, trying to get his message across, perhaps. Appears to be very happy. Just like the rest of the Moroccan supporters, the drum being banged as well. Deafening noise, love it.
Well, we are going to see who's going to be crowned King of Milan or perhaps King of Turin. We know who the King of Rome is, famously Francesco Totti, but we are going to see who's going to be the first ever winners of the Kings World Cup nations and who will be wearing that crown. Will it be Morocco with their Corona d'Oro in the side, Nadir? If they win, they will, of course, be in their last chance salute. If Ukraine lose, they're going home. So Morocco have no real margin for error. That'd be a major shock, Thomas, if they were to go home at the first time of asking. It would mean 2 defeats from 2. But here's Fouad.
It would be such a surprise.
He was fouled.
He's very happy to see that. Yeah, basically, Japan await the winner of this match. The way the match has been playing out, the advantage that Morocco have, you would fancy at this stage, obviously, Morocco to progress, but as we've seen in all previous matches, Patrick, it really ain't over till it's over, and you have to expect the unexpected. Those presidential pairs, those secret cards can really change everything.
They can, and Ukraine needs something to change at the moment, because it's been 13 minutes of pretty controlled football from the Moroccans. The side in red haven't required a great deal of work from their goalkeeper, Marouane Moussirina, and indeed they scored very early on, lest we forget Nadir, I think making the most of it. It was the 1v1 situation plus goalkeepers, wasn't it, right at the start, got away from Konoplyanka and finished, underlining his credentials as the reigning Corona d'Oro, and we already know the nature of almost all of our teams in the last chance saloon. This is the final match to be determined, isn't it, Thomas? We can pull up the graphic and give you exactly what it would mean for whoever is to win this game. A reminder, the winner here then goes into the last chance round, having lost their first game. Who would Morocco play if they were?
Yeah, they'll be taking on Japan. We know that Turkey will be taking on Spain, Germany against Mexico, and Uzbekistan taking on Peru. So that's the
Germany, Mexico. That is going to be absolutely delicious.
It's going to be fabulous stuff. Some 2 excellent Kings League nations there. Oben Martinez, my main man. Yo quiero Martinez señar. I don't know if that's correct. I apologise.
Marcar, I think is.
Marcar. At least I can speak English. Well. Question marks over that as well.
Yeah, there's lots of Italian chants. There, isn't it? Siamo venuti fin qua per vedere segnare Thuram. It doesn't really rhyme, doesn't really scan. It's another one about Franco Baresi, but we won't go into that.
Nicely done on this near side.
Nadir.
Nicely done indeed. He may have hurt himself in the process, but he's going to be okay to continue. Take more than that to keep him out of action.
Change in the run forward here. Shooting opportunity, he has to square that. That is the wrong decision there from Issam Iraqi. Had he been a little more composed, he would have rolled it square. His teammate would have had arguably a tap in to make it 2-0 to the Moroccans. Instead, he went for goal himself and sliced it as he was off balance there with his left foot. Thomas, we are just under 3 minutes away, believe it or not, from the last 2 minutes.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it, because it's flown by once again as we go towards that 18-minute mark. The roll of the dice as the shot might come in here.
Konoplyanka going the wide route. There's the shooting option. They'll try again here. It just won't go in. It is a corner, but Morocco having to do some heroic defending just to keep out several consecutive shots.
And it ain't over. They're still on the back foot here.
It ain't over till Mahmoud wraps. In it comes towards the near stick. Morocco now bombing forward with red shirts, but They lost a bit of momentum there. It's behind Mehdi Amri when he tried to break stride. I don't remember hearing noise like this at Kings League. It's just the Moroccans. They're a pretty unique bunch.
It is. Well, yesterday, I have to admit, the Italian supporters made themselves heard as the home side, but they're unable to inspire the Azzurri to victory. And Spain marching on and getting a richly deserved win. It was a fabulous match. It's a game you should watch again if you haven't. Well, even if you've seen it, watch it back. If you haven't seen it, mi raccomando, go and watch it. You must go and watch that game. Nice touch.
Nadir, lovely touch. He wants the ball back. He's demanding it, but understandably, his teammate works the overload. Morocco actively seeking a second goal here. Don't always necessarily have both of their stars on the pitch at the same time. We've seen Nadir a constant throughout. That's a good try, and again Boyko is called into action. Why not? Good try from Ashraf.
Yeah, boy, did they need Boyko there as he went flying to his left. Pressure though, not over, danger not over.
In comes the corner, missed by Nadir and struck almost out of the arena there.
Yeah, if it was rugby it'd be okay, but it's not rugby.
That was Finani Hatim.
Went flying, soaring over the bar as we head towards the final minute. There's a bit of activity to my right. Looks like the Spanish presidents, if I'm not mistaken, are going to be rolling the dice here, the Red Bull dice. So all eyes on them as we go into that final minute and we approach the roll of the dice, which can change things up. It could be and give Ukraine a way back into the match, depending on what the outcome is. Obviously, I love Patrick, the one-on-one without keepers.
I mean, there's just nothing better. We saw it with the Mexico-Saudi Arabia match yesterday, and that's what we'd love to witness again. So much drama. Goals at both ends, mistakes as well. That could be a foul on Konoplyanka, who's gone down holding his knee, and his reaction is why the Ukrainian officials are asking for a card. There is a card, a yellow card, but it is for part of the Ukrainian staff, unfortunately, as opposed to a black. Unfortunately, from a Ukrainian perspective, because it would have meant a 2-minute sin bin for the Moroccans, especially telling when we're moving towards those last 2 minutes.
Seems okay to continue. A little puff there out of relief.
Here he is again, Konoplyanka. The problem is everything goes through him, so you just double up on him. You keep Ukraine quiet, typically. 10 seconds or so until the final 2 minutes. He's ridden a couple of challenges here, and then he got a little bit confused as to what the best course of action was. Vitaly Melnik. It is time for the Red Bull dice roll. Tommy, talk us through it.
Be delighted to, as all eyes on the referee who calls time. It is now time for our energy break, energized by Red Bull, and our Red Bull roll of the dice. It's going to come from our Spanish presidents, the Spanish team in action yesterday, getting the better of Italy and sending Italy home and marching on to the last chance, Spain. And now we'll see what the outcome is here. It is a 2. So
that is 1v1 plus goalkeepers.
This is exactly what you said there, Patrick. It's going to be an interesting one.
So it's basically like watching the first 60 seconds of a Kings League.
It's going to be very
match.
similar as it looks like. Just trying to see who
Surely
they're
you go for Nadir again, do you? They haven't done.
Yeah, I was just dithering and pausing and hesitating. I was just trying to see who would come out, who would be picked for Morocco and who's going to be picked for Ukraine.
Again for Ukraine. And instead, for Morocco, they have decided to go with Issam Eraki, who missed a chance earlier on. He went for goal himself, but he's going to back himself with his speed here to get to the ball first. Away we go. Konoplyanka gives chase, and the former pro gets to it. Now he'll try and show all of his ability in a 1v1. It's basically like a basketball pickup game, this. Konoplyanka trying to get half a yard. Issam Eraki is there. He'll dash forward now. Konoplyanka getting back to try and narrow the angle, but Eraki still going. It's going to have to double back. Is that a foul? It is.
It is.
But we don't have the same stipulation we have in the first 60 seconds, which is, Thomas?
A shootout, but not in this case.
Doesn't apply now.
It's not for these final 2 minutes. Konoplyanka's technically just so gifted. Has he got the pace, though? I'm not too sure.
Konoplyanka opening up the angle, and again, then he was off balance. Issam Eraki did his job, And the main issue here for both sides, Konoplyanka's gone off. So this is going to be a 1v1 for Ihsan Iraqi, dropping the shoulder and not slotting it beyond the goalkeeper. But he heads it in, does he know? Denis Boyko to the rescue. Well, what a wonderful set of circumstances there. Incredible scenes at Ismara. It doesn't cross the goal line.
Morocco thought it was in. We almost thought it was in. Again, though, that Ukrainian keeper is pulling out all the stops today. Look how close that was.
Boy, oh boy, Denis Boyko. Oh,
brilliant Boyko.
Yeah, and as you can see, the Moroccan fans have certainly not boycotted this event. They have turned out in numbers, and here's a chance. It's that man again. Fouad. And now Nadir, it's put away, his second. It is the deadly duo for the Moroccans. Fouad to Nadir, and you can make that 2-0.
Oh, they've sent their supporters into rapturous joy. But again, we spoke about players not always knowing the rules. Konoplyanka, what was he doing?
Here's a chance, though, for Ukraine. And now
look, there's an open goal.
Oh, why didn't Nadir shoot? Didn't seem to realise he was too busy telling the keeper to go and make the change. So it's 2v2 now, two outfield players v2.
Smart
great
sanctions.
Gambling with no keeper. This is surely 3-0. It is the hat-trick for Nadir! That's why he's the Corona d'Oro. And already there are some streamers away to my right, waving as if to say, bye-bye Ukraine. Nadir has his second goal of this power play. It's 3 all told, and it's 3-0 to Morocco. The Corona d'Oro with the Hattie.
He is Kings League royalty, Nadir. And he has to try and keep this out.
He won't. Surely it's a goal for Ukraine. It is. Well put away. Could have squared it. Instead, he lifted it beyond the goalkeeper. They're on the board, courtesy of Denis Olyanik.
They have one back. They have hope, and it's come just before the half-time whistle, Patrick. Let's try and listen in and hear what the coaches have to say in this brilliant first half.
Сейчас выходим, рандомная расташевка. Кона, Морайс, Оленик, тройка. Сзади Сандецький, Загран, Карабінка. Рандомно виходимо. М'яч зверху.
Давай, вже стаємо, будьте готові. Давай, не спимо.
Дихаємо. Давай, пацани. Наша карточка, ми в більшості граємо. Я візьму її пізніше. Скажеш, коли болить президент, а ти скажеш, коли будуть сили. Давай, ти зараз граєш. Потім заміна. Ти не хочеш?
داكشي اللي هضرنا عليه الدراري بخاو عليه ماشي دابا نترونوا ماشي دابا
دراري تكونسونطراو مع الماتش ما حنا بحيت 3-1 حنا عندنا فوطاج الدراري حنا فوطاج يلا نولاد
Right, well, the stat man cometh, Thomas Lawrence, because 3-1 to Morocco at the end of the first half. A hat-trick for Nadir. Where does he stand? In the stakes. So, there we'll see. They're immediately playing the star player.
So this is a great card, Patrick. You basically pick a player who's given a green armband. Is it Fouad?
I think I heard the official say Fouad there.
Okay, well, that's an interesting... If the next goal he scores, should he score, it would be worth...
It is the number 80 wearing the green armband.
Yeah.
So I do wonder whether there's a little bit of...
There is, of course, Patrick, only that counts only for him. He is the star player. It's not the whole team. He is the one. If his goal goes in, it's worth double.
And interesting, I wonder whether there's an internal power dynamic there where Nadir has grabbed the headline, scoring 3 goals, and Fouad saying, hey, listen, I want to play my part as well. He wants to score some goals. So if Fouad were to score, then his goal would be worth 2. Anyone else, it wouldn't be the case. And how long is that valid for? 4 minutes, Thomas, or the entirety of the second half?
Basically, until he scores, basically, Patrick. So
oh, he's only allowed to score once.
Exactly, Patrick. So he has that opportunity, he has the time on, he has time on his side.
But what I was hoping to get from you is, we know that Obed Martinez, 1 goal in his first game, 4 in his second. He's got 5 all told. He was the leading goal scorer in this competition. Where does Nadir now stand in the ranks? A hat-trick today. How many did he get in the first game?
Yeah, he was disappointing, wasn't able to leave his mark in that first game, so he's still trailing, but he's laying down the gauntlet, very much like Kelvin Oliveira. And talking about laying down the gauntlet, looks like
he scored a hattie earlier on for Brazil.
What a man. A secret card, if I'm not mistaken, on that far side.
And Kelvin indeed scoring in every single Kings League match he's been a part of. Here go Ukraine. That's a foul. So the secret card has now been played by the Ukrainians, presumably, because we've already seen Morocco play theirs. We're about to find out the nature of this secret card. What's it going to be?
We'll see. Is it a goal worth doubles? We'll see. Or what is it, suspension? Oh, suspension!
Now, can you take off WAD, Thomas? Is that valid?
And this is what the Ukrainian players are going to try and hope. Just trying to listen to who they've opted.
I think I heard him say Fouad again, the official.
Well, that's brilliant. That is so clever.
The green card, don't you?
Yeah, that's
the green armband.
Patrick, you know, you were spot on thinking who would be the best player. It's obviously that he's the man you want to take off for many reasons, because obviously his goal would have been worth double. He's one of the star players anyway, so they've got him off now for 4 minutes, and they have a numerical advantage.
They do, and interestingly, that it's Nadir, scorer of a first-half hat-trick, who's been given a breather at the start of this second half, maybe because they've got a 3-1 lead, Morocco, maybe because he's not capable of playing the full 40 minutes, understandably, because he was the player they went to for the 1v1 right at the start of the game. He was the player they went to when we had a similar situation in the final 2 minutes. Good try there, just off target, worth a go from the Ukrainians. It was Junior Moraes, who sounds Brazilian, but he represents Ukraine.
Listen, I think what the Ukrainian coach and the president wants right now is Ukraine to capitalise on their numerical advantage, get a goal back, and then immediately go for a presidential pen. I think that's their strategy, but can they carry it out?
Junior Moraes, they're trying to cushion the ball down with his shoulder, got a bit too much purchase on it. And a reminder, if Morocco go through, they book a place in the last chance round, which is where teams that win one and lose one in the first 2 rounds reside. They then have that last chance to put their place in the next round of the competition, the quarter-finals. And we're going to have a draw for the quarter-finals.
Yep.
And that is, presumably, Thomas, the 4 teams in the quarter-finals play 4 winners from the last chance.
Exactly. So that could be Japan or one of these sides, Ukraine or Morocco.
That's a clever little throw.
Germany, Mexico, Uzbekistan versus Peru.
Morocco in charge here, just keeping the ball and frustrating Ukraine, asking them to squeeze up and pressurise them, and Morocco hopes that leaves space in behind the Ukrainian team.
Patrick mentioned Nadir Ercan, he's the 6th player to score a hat-trick in the Nations. Joins Guti against Italy.
Kelvin.
Yep, good man. Domenico Rossi, your favourite. My main man, Obed Martinez, and Swad Ak.
My question is, Thomas, does a hat-trick count as a hat-trick if they score 2 with 1 goal being worth a second one? Or does it have to be 3 separate goals? I think it's the latter.
It is, Patrick, I can confirm.
That's a good try, unlucky, really good hit. Worth a go there from Andriy Zagreninci.
Obviously, it has big bearing impact on the final score, naturally, but not in terms of their actual number of goals. That would be, I think, a bit harsh as well. It wouldn't really be fair, would it?
It wouldn't, but how soon before they get to have Fouad back? A minute, and when he comes back on, he's lost 4 minutes in which to try and get that goal that would be worth double.
And of course, when he scores, that power is vanished, evaporates.
Indeed, and he's waiting by the sidelines for that sin bin, not inflicted by himself, to come to an end. It's a hopeful cross from the Moroccans. They try to get to the loose ball first. They do manage it. Kept in play by Junior Moraes, and here come Ukraine. Can he find a teammate? Still Junior Moraes. just got so much energy, Morocco. What I've noticed
so
is
intense,
they
aren't they?
tend to rotate more than some of the other teams that they've used in their full squad. It hasn't always been the case elsewhere.
Such intensity, closing down the space so well.
Good try there, the goalkeeper hangs on though,
Did it
was
well.
straight at him, had a good long look at it. Denis Olinik incidentally was the scorer of the only Ukrainian goal thus far, as Morocco look for a fourth of the night. They can't get it. But here go Ukraine, bit of space. Konoplianka not currently on the pitch, maybe he's still feeling a little bit fatigued. 3-on-1 here for Morocco, they've got to make the most of it, they surely will, and they do. Slot it home, and that's a big lead now forwarded to them by Zakaria Hadraf. He couldn't really miss.
Yeah, just when we're talking about Ukraine doing their very best to just try and get a goal back. It's Morocco that get the goal. They're fourth, and now, guess what, Patrick? They've got Fuad back on the pitch. You really fancy them to maybe get another and make it 6, because the goal would be worth double.
It would if it was scored by Fuad. That was their particular card that they played, the secret card that they drew. You have to play it. Well, you don't have to, but typically you would want to. They could have chosen any player for their goals to be worth double. I think they probably felt that Nadir was a marked man after his first half hat-trick, so they went for their other star in the shape of Fuad, and now he'll have the opportunity. He'll even be fresh because of that 4-minute suspension. I wonder whether it might count against Ukraine, the decision to suspend him for 4 minutes. But either way, Ukraine needs something approaching a miracle here if they are to get back in this match.
Yeah. They've called their presidential penalty, which will be a shootout, but so have Morocco, and for them likewise it'll be a shootout. Chance for Fuad to make amends after missing in the first match for Colombia against Morocco. Another team playing in yellow, now they're playing against another team in yellow, but they're having far more success as Morocco are just under a bit of pressure here, but they've got Fuad in possession.
Here he is, Fuad, he knows a goal would be worth double. It's not though. Here's a chance on the rebound. Denis Boyko with more brilliance. The boy done good.
Oh, he is their star man, or their star boy.
Yeah, and had Boyko not made those saves, I think Ukraine would have been KO.
Yeah, it would have been good night to Ukraine, and they would have been out of the competition. They still have some faint hopes, of course, with that presidential penalty. And of course, there's final 2 minutes, but they need to weather the storm. And the thing is, Morocco look like they're going to score every time they come forward, and that's the issue, I think, for Ukraine, Patrick.
It really is. But I do like that play. Personally, I'm not a president myself. It is an aspiration of mine when it comes to Kings League. I'd love to have my own team one day, but personally, I like this play. I think that's a pretty good strategy, all told, regardless of what the match is happening in terms of the match situation. It's Junior Moraes meantime for Ukraine. I feel if the opposition play their penalty, presidential penalty, you go with it as well immediately, and vice versa.
Yeah, smart.
Here's a chance for another Moroccan goal. Almost. Should have gone underneath it.
Yeah, should have been. Should have been. It was in a really good position. Now we will have a break in play. Now we will have the shootout.
That was Saïd El-Aouni.
I think will it be
led back and blasted it towards the Moroccan fans behind the goal. Who's first up for the penalty del Presi?
I think it's Morocco, and it looks like Fuad wants to make amends. A reminder, he missed against Morocco. Obviously, this wouldn't be worth double, Patrick.
Yes, this wouldn't be worth double, and also it's not a penalty, is it, Thomas? We don't have the precedents here, so it's a shootout.
Exactly.
Because they've delegated to Fuad. He hasn't yet scored. This would only be worth one, even though he's got that green armband.
Here he goes.
This could pretty much kill it off. Fuad puts it wide. What's he moaning about there? Saying something about the keeper maybe moving off his line before the time had started. I can only anticipate and interpret his protest that way. And now Nadir's getting involved. These are two habitués of the Kings League scene. If they're moaning, then maybe there has been something untoward. They're experts.
Training keeper's come off his line. He's having words. He feels he did nothing wrong.
Shot out para allí. Todo el mundo para allí.
Be disappointing for Ukraine if it had to be taken again. They thought they'd been led off the hook after another Fuad miss. Fuad fluffing his lines from the shootout.
Shot out for you. Shot out for you.
Wait on here.
Para allí.
See that's why.
No, this is
is the rule. The rule, you have to know. It's a mistake. Yeah, for 5
When
seconds.
the rule is that they have to stay for 5 seconds. They're actually trying to inform the officials about it. And as I said, these guys play all the time, don't they? Where is it they play, Tom? Is it Porcinos that the Moroccan pair play?
Yeah, these guys are both playing in the Kings League Italy with Porcinos, who
Yeah,
are one of
everybody
the
here,
Porcinos
shout out for you.
star
Now,
teams.
You are the shooter,
Yeah,
okay?
and
Caballato,
Caspia,
bravo.
they are really
Fue para ahí todos, por
impressive
favor.
players, those two. And in a sense, that experience for me in España with the Kings League
the screen.
is what
Okay,
gives
the
them the
screen.
edge, in my opinion, because that's where the competition
Wait,
was
wait the
created.
screen.
Morocco
Atrás.
can protest all they
Atrás.
want. It's not going to go their way, Patrick. It's now Ukraine and Colombia a chance to get up and running.
Well, this is a big moment because Morocco have just missed through Fouad. Now Konoplyanka, the Ukrainian, has 5 seconds to get the better of the Moroccan goalkeeper. It is going to be Konoplyanka. He's trying to go round the keeper. He's run out of time. It has just not been the tournament for Konoplyanka. That goal won't stand. There's a very authoritative wag of the finger there from Nadir. It's now only just dawned upon Konoplyanka, who is new to this as well, that he actually took too long. The buzzer had gone, and despite this good finish, the goalkeeper basically stopped. He knew the time was up, and that's why it doesn't stand.
Yeah, definitely some mitigating circumstances, seeing the fact that a lot of these players are playing this for the first time. Of course, they would have seen it, they've learnt the rules, regulations, but as you said, Patrick, it's like, you know, watching it for the first time, you get a proper feel for it. Playing the sport for the first time, you really get to grips with it. It's the only way.
And Morocco certainly got to grips with Ukraine here. It's going to need something special from Ukraine because they have already used their secret card. They've now used their presidential panel. That's wonderful work from Fouad. He's going all the way through. Fouad with the cutback. And the deflection takes it wide, but he's so speedy, so determined, Fouad. You can understand why he's been bestowed with the green armband.
Yeah, but on that occasion, quite rightly looking to play in a teammate. It was a very difficult angle, but he created, he eased the pressure on the Moroccan rearguard, carrying the ball forward. Now he's going to take the corner.
The fifth goal might just kill it off if Morocco can score. There were two of them going for the same ball. An apologetic hand up there from Saïd El Aounouny towards Mbarak Boussoufa, because his teammate, the latter, might have been slightly better placed, and Boussoufa nearly won it back there. Morocco do have the ball, and they're just taking their time now. Nadir wanted it on the far side, he didn't get it. You can't miss him, he's wearing the strapping round his left wrist, reminiscent of Napoli defender Alessandro Buongiorno.
Absolutely, that's very reminiscent. Here he is though, the big man.
Nadir. Saud.
Is he still injured, by the way, Buongiorno? Is he still injured, Buongiorno?
He is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, here's Nadir. That would have been his fourth had he got his toe to the ball, not quite. And Ukraine really struggling now. They trail by 4 goals to 1. They need to really score, ideally, once more before the 38-minute mark to get within 2, and then suddenly, if they could then score, it makes it 4-all, and we could be heading for penalties. We haven't seen penalties today. What we did have, though, was a golden goal, and what a golden goal it was from Alejandro Ortega.
What a comeback it was.
Colombia trailed by 2 goals to 0 against Turkey. They eventually won 3-2 AET with the golden goal. Here's a chance for 5-1. Dennis Boyko with the save. The ball doesn't quite ricochet into our commentary position, but Boyko, for me, has produced the goalkeeping display of the day, if not the tournament.
Yep. Simple as, yeah, nothing really to add. Can't argue with that, Patrick.
We're trying to add something, Thomas.
We've I know, again, one of my former bosses.
One of your mentors.
Yeah, one of my mentors.
The mentor.
The
mother of all
pay tribute to, obviously, for giving him a big break. But it's hard to contradict you, Patrick, there, because I agree 100%. We've seen some great goalkeeping performances.
This is going to be
could be
fun.
called into action now.
This is going to be fun because we've got one of the star players, Fouad. He's wearing the green armband. Any goal he scores would be worth double. Only once that applies.
Yep.
But he has a free kick opportunity here. For him to get the better of Boyko, who's basically touching the crossbar from a standing position, and it is going to be that man. Fouad goes for goal, it strikes the wall. Boyko comes through the crowd and punches it straight to a Moroccan player.
He not have grasped it and caught it, but opted for the punch. Obviously, that green armband rule applies up until the 38th minute. So he's got to the 38th minute to get that goal.
Here go Ukraine. Oh, he just lost his footing as he tried to cut it back. Fouad now, he's taken it into touch. Morocco want the ball, Ukraine get the decision.
As you said, Patrick, Ukraine need to get a goal and fast.
And I have to say, I've been really underwhelmed by Konoplyanka. I had such high hopes for him. When you look at his CV, when you look at his credentials, twice a player for Ukraine at the European Championships, 2 consecutive editions, 2012 in Ukraine's host nation, Ukraine and Poland, 2016, which was in France, I was at both. And then also won the Europa League, as you mentioned, with Sevilla in 2016. But maybe Father Time has caught up with him. Maybe he's not really bought into this competition, but there's a goal. And suddenly Ukraine have that goal back there within 2, thanks to Andriy Sopa.
Well, he certainly has stepped up. Maybe Konoplyanka hasn't, but his teammate has. And he has reignited their hopes. He's brought them back in it. They trail by 2. If they can keep it like this, going to that 38th minute mark, and or Patrick, score again, and then get those 2 goals in the final 2 minutes.
But they have to defend well here. There's another save from Boyko. Well done, Andriy Sopa, who's technically a defender according to our team sheets, but he showed good striking instincts there.
Yeah, thanks to Alex for the help with all the various lineups and the squad list. Massive shout out to Alex behind the scenes, Astrid as well, and Jimenez. Everybody behind the scenes really helpful here. There's so many behind the scenes who make this such a success. You see obviously the players, but there's a whole team behind us, Patrick, that put us in a position. Is this going to be a card, Patrick?
Oh, this could be a game changer. It is going to be a game changer because it's a yellow card, and that means a 2-minute sin bin, which means Ukraine, having got back to within 1 goal, are now down to 6 players because of this errant challenge. He didn't really need to go diving in there, but dive in he did. And it's Andriy Zagraninci who has been shown the sin bin.
Yeah, that was horrific. That was horrific there. And so just when you thought Ukraine were clawing their way back into the match, they now find themselves with 6 players, obviously including the keeper. They're a man down, a man short, a man light. They're not in 6, they're with 6 players now.
I thought you were about to quote The Godfather Part 3 then. Just when I thought they was out, they pulled me back in. It's the other way around. Just when Ukraine thought they were back in, the officials pulled him out.
There you go. There you go. I have to admit, I'm not a big fan of the third one. I'm more a fan
I
of
think
the
third is a very good film. In its own right, it's a standalone film. I think it compares unfavourably with the first 2, which are marvels of cinema. But if you were to watch Godfather 3 on its own without having watched the first 2, I think you'd consider it a very good film. But there's a yellow card here. It's now 6v6. So, all of a sudden, from one sin bin to another, a Moroccan has now been shown a yellow card, and that means will pretty much take us up to the 38-minute mark with a 6v6, because it is Elias Nasri, no relation to Samir, who has been sin-binned, and Ukraine is still alive, Tolo.
There you go. But don't forget, Morocco still have their star player, okay? Still have that star player.
They do. The green armband remains
with Fouad,
who I can't actually see out there on the pitch at the moment.
That's what you're saying about Morocco. They like to roll on, roll off. He's waiting though in the wings and waiting to come on. And a little breather.
They've got a man over here. Might be tempted by the shot from the difficult angle. Steady exchanges passes with Saoud. But they do have this man on the pitch. Nadir, scorer of a first-half hat-trick. Moroccans sense that the players need a bit of support, the fans that is. They've decided to try and inspire them further here at Bismara. Morocco hoping to go all the way to Turin. It's the road to. That's a lovely ball through. Saoud, yes! And who got the assist? It was that man, Nadir. And all of a sudden, Morocco are back to 3 goals clear. Saoud with a clever run, the diagonal from Nadir. And Ukraine might just be out of the contest now.
Fantastic from Nadir. He's played his part in each of the goals. And it's thanks to him that they have taken a huge step forward to Turin. They want to be there. Those those supporters want to be there. Who knows, maybe they're confident, they've already bought their tickets for the 12th of January. It would be a little bit hasty to do so, but they are going to be facing Japan at this rate, and you'd fancy them to beat Japan with the likes of Nadir and Fuad. And not only, Patrick, it's not just about those two.
It's not, it's a whole team effort as well. The goalkeeper's been very good, lest we forget, when called upon. Ukraine all of a sudden playing a bit of frenzied football and trying to again get back to within 2 goals, which could be important with the final 2 minutes, seeing goals worth double. Ukraine need to shoot here. They do shoot, and it's a brilliant save. That's what we're talking about. Wonderful goalkeeping from Marouane Mazurira, and but for him that would have been 5-3, and all of a sudden it might have been Ukraine back in the game. They could yet score from the set piece. We'll see whether they do. Floated in, not properly cleared, but they've done enough.
Yeah, I think that's enough for Morocco now. To the final 10 seconds.
Who's going to take the shot? I know you love a shot at this stage, Tommy. They've got a second to shoot. They have shot. It was on the buzzer. It was a deflection. But once more, fabulous work from the goalkeeper. He's been the standout performer, really, Marouane Mazurira, for his side, as well as, of course, Nadir. A hat-trick plus an assist, a hand in 4 of the 5 goals. The other one was scored by Hadraf as well. And so, as we go into the final 2 minutes of play, we'll hear from the 2 benches, but it does mean Ukraine would need to score twice without reply to win this 6-5. Morocco have 1 step into the last chance.
And the countdown begins, which is our cue also to get back on the mic here with that goal. Morocco have a 3-goal cushion, which Ukraine would have to score twice to turn the game on its head. Of course, that star player card now is no more valid, Patrick. It only lasted until that 38-minute mark, or until obviously he scored. And we're about to get underway.
Luku's still chasing after it. Nadir, he's got there, but he was leaning back when he shot. Unlucky for Nadir, he's scored 3. So how he'd love to make it 4.
Oh, yeah.
He not only wants to inspire Morocco to the first ever Kings World Cup Nations crown, but he also wants to do it by getting player of the tournament. Yeah. There you can see Swad and Luis Morales with 4 goals each. Rossi got a hat-trick for Italy. Kelvin Oliveira got a treble earlier on. Obed Martinez scored 4 yesterday. And here go Morocco. Nadir calling for it. He's going to get his 4. Slipped in by Hadram. That will kill it off. It's now a double whammy there. They go from 5-2 to 7-2. And indeed, it is Nadir who gets his 4th. And he is now all of a sudden threatening the top goal scorer charts.
It is party time in the stands. It's party time out on the pitch, because they know that has gotten them over the line. A goal worth double. Went from 5 to 6 to 7. Just like that, just like that. And he must be up there as your man of the match.
Well, he's going to be MVP, 100% at the moment. The voting has only just begun. A reminder, we will have added time. Morocco want more goals. They are insatiable in terms of their appetite here. And Nadir pinging passes forward again. They've got a 2v1 if they can find the cross. They can't. But astonishing. We haven't seen Fuad chip in with goals, but we have seen Nadir, the Corona de Oro, proving why he is so highly rated at this level. 4 goals as part of 6 individual strikes, 7 goals all told, because one of those counted double the goal we've just seen after he was there on hand to get it.
He has been brilliant. He's been fantastic. A mark of a champion, Patrick. The mark of a Corona de Oro. Coming back, bouncing back from such a disappointing first match.
And I do wonder, Thomas, whether Nadir in particular was very happy to play an extra match. They might score again here, they do! That is one of the best goals we've seen, because it is just majestic technique. He rolled his studs across the ball, he went round the keeper, Mehdi Amri with a beauty. It's another double whammy, and we go from 7-2 to 9-2. This is a goal you'll want to see again and again and again.
And it just keeps on getting better and better for Morocco. What have we just witnessed? All aboard the showboat, round the keeper and into an empty net. Unbridled joy, fist-pumping celebrations, boom, boom, bang.
Bish, bosh, bash. That's what it's all about for Morocco. Yes, they might have been disappointing in their first match on day 2 when they lost 4-1 to Colombia. Yes, we expected more, but they have more than lived up to the expectations. They've given a treat to their fans, and they had a 3v1 there. Had the pass come through, it didn't from Mehdi Amri, who's just scored that goal, and now his captain is moaning at him for not playing the ball through. They wanted double figures, and believe it or not, we haven't yet seen double figures so far in this competition. We went close earlier on when Brazil beat Germany by 9-2. Incidentally, the same scoreline we have here.
And there is still time, Patrick, although they have to just soak up this pressure here on the
Ukraine
corner.
looking to score, it's headed over, should really have hit the target.
Yep.
Had he done so, would have been in there from Ivan Karapinka. But that sums up Ukraine's day, it sums up their tournament. They're heading home, and Morocco still want one more goal to get double figures. They would go on to 11 were they to score here. And that's what it shows, doesn't it? It can be quite merciless, this game, because Ukraine already felt they're out of the game. Morocco thought, OK, we'll twist the knife. But we score in the last few minutes, and score they have done twice, then our goals are worth double. They've added 4 in double quick time, and they want another one here if they can get the ball under control. They can't, but added time, still a minute to go. If you're the Ukrainian players, you just want to hear the final whistle.
Yeah, and Japan will be very worried on this evidence. Very worried indeed.
Can they get a consolation, the Ukrainians? They're going to try and do just that. The shot comes in, it's wayward, it's a chorus of cheers from the Moroccans. What a display from Nadir in particular. 4 goals from him that count for 5, plus that brilliant goal from Mehdi Amri, which counted for 2. I'd rather see it count for 4, such was the beauty of it. But there you go, it might be one of the goals of the tournament, the way he went round Denis Boyko, who has been superb for the Ukrainians, and they could have easily conceded double figures, maybe even 20 goals.
Yeah, had it not been for him, it would have been into double figures. Absolutely, Patrick.
One last opportunity, perhaps. We've got 5 seconds of added time remaining. Morocco aren't going to go for goal, or are they? They're in behind again here. But he could have squared it, he snatched it out of the near post. It doesn't matter. The biggest cheer of the day comes for the final match, and it has bookended a wonderful day of Kings World Cup Nations action. We started with a 9-2 win for Brazil. We ended with a 9-2 win for Morocco. And in between, we had the drama of the golden goal win for Colombia against Turkey. We saw Korea bow out to Peru as well. What a game it's been, what a day it's been. We'll leave you with these Moroccan celebrations.
Patrick, as you said, Nadir, what a performance from him. He obviously, unsurprisingly, takes home the MVP prize, laps up the plaudits in front of his supporters. A real statement win from Morocco and their star man. Japan will be very worried on this evidence. Morocco going through to the last chance. They lost their first game. It was underwhelming from the entire Morocco side, but they have hit back. They have shown the mark of potential champions, in my opinion, today.
They have indeed, and when you've got a player like Nadir scoring so many goals, and there he's greeting some loved ones, that's terrific to see. They've got him, they've got Fuad, and you can see now why the Spanish are so bitter about losing what they thought were 2 potential players for them. Both players with dual nationality came through the Spanish system, have decided to represent Morocco, and as we saw there from the T-shirt that Nadir showed, it's not just Morocco, they feel they're representing the whole of the Maghreb, the northern African Arab states there, Morocco, Tunisia and Algeria. We heard from Zlatan as well, the first African nation to take part in the Kings World Cup Nations. And after their brilliant showing at the 2022 Qatar World Cup, when I think they went all the way to the semi-finals, they are now through to the last chance round here, and this Moroccan train will take some stopping.
Yeah, that's right, with the likes of Hakimi, if I'm not mistaken, really inspiring them, but it's Nadir, Fouad and company inspiring this Morocco in the Kings League, in the Kings World Cup nation. Check out that rip body, that puts me to absolute shame. I know you've got a similar physique, Patrick, with your tartaruga, with your six-pack, but that takes some beating, I must admit. If I had a body like that, I'd be showing off as well.
Absolutely, and what a display it was. Ukraine were never really in the match, and the pressure was on Morocco. They had all these fans turn up, and as well as that, they'd lost their first game. They knew they'd be going home, but as you can see, winning by 9-2. The XG is very much in favour of the Moroccans. Yes, it helped that they got 4 goals courtesy of 2 late on. Some fans have been a little bit over-exuberant, but you can understand the passion here. So now we see confirmation of the last chance. It will be Japan against Morocco. Uzbekistan will take on Peru. Germany, Mexico and Turkey, Spain. That is the confirmed last chance round, and we will now show you the best of the action for the scenes we've just witnessed.